Alright, I'm going to show you a little preview of what I've been working on for the Thief games in System Shock 2 as a kind of an alternative to the fan mission selector that comes installed with the NewDark versions and the Sneaky upgrade versions of those games. This is basically Thief Fan Mission Manager rewritten to be a plugin to those games to be an alternative to the built-in fan mission selector, hopefully with some more features. What you see here is the files that are in the folder of the selector. Right now I'm calling it Thief Fan Mission Manager, Thief Fan Mission Selector, something like that, but this is the plugin here that's going to be called by each Thief game as you start the game. And it in turn uses these other DLL files that are in here, such as the Windows API codec pack. What that brings is a nice folder browser selector that's better than the one you're used to seeing in Windows. This one here looks like more like a file selector dialog or open file dialog box, and it allows you to select multiple folders at the same time, and it just works really nice. And so these two are part of that. We've got the Mission Archive Parser DLL, which is what I wrote to parse the info out of an archive file. You feed it a zip file name, and it will go through, look at all the files, and attempt to extract which game it's for, the author name, the mission title, and the release date. And granted, it can't get them from all the files because every file has that information. If it has it in there, it has it in a different way. So in the cases where it can't find something, that'll just be blank. Like if it can't find an author, it'll just be blank. But it works pretty well, and it also works. It works to detect Thief 1 versus Thief 2 NewDark files. The old way of parsing them, because in Thief 1 the way we used to parse these files before NewDark was that if it had, we would go through each mission file, MIS file, and if the file contained the word, I believe it was SkyObjVar, so SKYOBJVAR, if it contained that, then we knew it was a Thief 2 file. If it did not contain that, we knew it was a Thief 1 file. However, with NewDark, Thief 1 files also have that name in there, so we couldn't do that, and so I spent a long time trying to figure out, okay, what does Thief 2 have that's different than Thief 1 and vice versa. And I found some other string that happens to be in either Thief 1 or Thief 2 that's not in the other ones. And I did that by getting every NewDark mission file I could find, finding every string that was in those files, and then eliminating them, eliminating the common ones and finding ones that I only found in Thief 1 or ones that I only found in Thief 2. So I believe it's pretty accurate. The next file is the object list view, and that's an open source data grid. Well, it's not really a data grid, it's a list view, but I mean, it can show data in a grid, but it has some extra features that we might be able to put to use in this, such as overlays and grouping and stuff like that. Then we've got System Data SQLite. That's our database engine that we're going to use to store our archive or mission data in a database that will then be displayed in the object list view. So that's the files, and if you notice, we have it installed in its own folder rather than in a game folder. And that's the way it's going to work, is that it's going to be in its own folder, but each game is going to use the plugin, and we do that by configuring the cam mod ini file for the NewDark games and the sneaky options file for the Thief 3 that has the sneaky upgrade. We can go look real quick on how to do that. So your Thief Gold, Thief 2, and System Shock 2, they're all going to use a file called cammod.ini. So let me find that thing right here. Alright, so 3 things in here that we're going to look at. This command tells the game to start the fan mission selector, or to launch a fan mission selector before it goes into the game. Alright, when it comes, it has a semicolon in front of it when it's first installed, and you can come in there and remove the semicolon to enable that to happen. Semicolon just means that the game is going to ignore those lines. If the line starts with a semicolon, it's going to be ignored. The next one is the FM path setting. It's commented out because it's using the default, which is a file called FMS in your game folder. So if you want to change it to something else, remove that semicolon, make FM path start at the first column of the editor, and put your full file path in there. So if I were going to do it, I would put like something like C games missions, something like that. Okay. Oh yeah, and there, now it's enabled. So now all fan missions would get installed to that folder. And then the third one is our fan mission selector. This is the plugin that it's going to run, and I have set it to run our plugin in the D games folder. And that's it for the first 3. We'll look at Thief 3 now. Let's go here, and Thief 3, same concept, different folder structure. So in your Deadly Shadows, we're going to go to Saves and then Options, and we have our Sneaky Options file here. Scroll down to our loader, and we set our extern selector to run our plugin right here. Always show to true so that it will launch the selector every time Thief 3 is launched. And the install path to where we want our fan missions to be installed. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Done with that. So let's go back to here. So now we can take a look at the selector itself. It's not done yet, but I just wanted to give you guys a peek at what I've got so far. So if I'm going to start Thief Gold here, it brings up our window. And you see on the left side, we've got the grid that's going to store the data or display the data. And on the right side, we've got our documents pane, which is going to show the documents contained in whatever mission is selected on the left-hand side. Okay, so there'll be a tab for each document found, and the document will be displayed in its native format, whether that's HTML or rich text or plain text. And I think we've got Garrett Loader formatted files that they have their own special tags, and we can change those to be HTML tags, or maybe just remove them all so that it's just a plain text. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But anyways, so down at the bottom we got our filter here, and that's just going to be to filter the grid to show you only files, to show you only missions that have whatever you typed in the filter text box there. If it exists in the file name, the mission name, or the author, then it will show you. So like if I'm looking for Creature Clash, I can type Creature Clash in there, and I'll see only the Creature Clash missions displayed. If I type in an author's name, I will see only missions with that author displayed, that kind of thing. So that's how that works. And if we can select a mission in this grid, come down here, click on Play Fan Mission, and it will launch it. It will launch that fan mission. If we just want to start Thief without playing a fan mission, we want to click on the little arrow here and click Play Original Missions, and we'll just get vanilla Thief. clicking the X above will abort without playing anything. Okay. The other thing is Thief Gold. The selector knows what game it's launched from, and it grabs the icon from the executable that launched it to use as its own icon. So we've got our Thief Gold icon, we've got our Thief 2 icon, our System Shock 2 icon, and our Thief 3 icon. Alrighty, so let's go back and look real quick at our settings screen. Now the cam mod INI settings up here, I was going to modify those files from within the UI here, but I think better of that, and I think that we're just going to leave that up to you to modify your own files, and I'll change those text boxes to labels so you can see what the current settings are, and the program will use those settings, but we're just not going to modify them. We don't want to take a chance that I do something wrong and kind of screws up your INI files, so we'll let you screw them up instead. Down below we've got our fan mission archive directories. I've already selected some, and this is where that fancy dancy folder selector comes from. It's actually a file or folder selector depending on what you set it to when you launch the thing. But if I click add directories, there it is. Okay, so you've probably seen this before. I just discovered recently that, hey, we could do this, we can use this too. So it allows you to go in and select mission folders, and not just one at a time. You can select as many as you want, and then once you got them all selected, you click the select folder button and they appear in this list. And of course you got your remove directory here if you want to remove one, and your check marks for always start the selector after you exit a game. Alright, so we're done with this, and I will show you the difference now between, I should have left this open. I'll show you the difference now between the Thief 3 one, where did it go? Right here. And the others. Okay, so the NewDark games, they don't do anything weird. The Thief 3, it looks like, from what I can tell, it does not have visual styles enabled within its app domain, so when it launches our selector here, visual styles are not enabled in Thief 3, and we can see that mostly through through our settings. Notice here in Thief 1 how the buttons light up when you hover over them. The checkbox lights up there, okay, and our buttons here, of course, and then when we click add directories we get our nice fancy selector. However, because visual styles or theming or whatever it's called is not enabled in the Thief 3 app domain, we have your standard Windows 95 looking buttons and checkboxes, and I have not yet figured out if I can turn on visual styles in this, since it's launched from a native program that doesn't have visual styles enabled. Now, so the buttons are, you know, it's a minor thing. You know, you got good looking buttons here and old looking buttons here. The main difference is this: when I try to launch this from here, it crashes. And doing some Googling, I found out that if visual styles are not enabled, then that crashes with a COM exception, saying that it could not load a COM component that it was looking for. Not sure how to fix that. So in the interim, until I do find a fix, when you click add directories from a Thief 3 launched version of it, you get the old boring, sucky folder browser dialog. All right. The bright side to this is that you can populate this from from the selector launched from any game. So you can populate this from any of the NewDark games, and then you don't have to use the sucky folder selector over here to do the same thing, because it'll already be there. It's one program, one config for all games, and it's going to use the game that is launched from to decide which missions to show in the grid. And we might even want to go ahead and show all missions for each game, but just not allow you to launch the wrong missions from the game, because we need the ability to edit information. Say like it mistakenly says that a game, and it should not happen, but it is a possibility, it could say this is a Thief 1 game when in fact it's a Thief 2, and we need to allow you to modify that information in the grid. And if you can't see the game, then you can't modify it. All right, so I'm thinking we might have to allow all games to be shown, or maybe even give you an option to show only the games for this game, or the missions for this game, or all missions. But that's it, and let me know what you think. You can contact me if you have any questions, or maybe some ideas of what you want it to do, or what you want to see in it. I will probably be adding downloading of missions as well, but I haven't got that figured out yet. It doesn't look like fmsel.dll has been updated in quite a while, so I don't know if that site is abandoned or dead or what. The only other site I know of, I think, was South Quarter that has some missions, and it looks like the Comag site is down for Thief 1 and 2 missions. You know, it redirects me to a parked domain page. Although that's weird that Comag is down, but the Thief 3 one, Shadow Dark Keep, is still up and running. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyways, that's another thing too. If you know some cool sites to download missions from that's easy to do it programmatically, like I can scrape it from a page, or maybe they even have an API or a text file like thiefmissions.com does. You can download a text file with all the mission information in it, and then I can just grab the stuff from that. If you know any cool sites to download missions from that I can incorporate into this and make auto downloading possible, you know, like I said, you can contact me through the Thief forums at ttlg.com, or leave me a comment in the video. Thanks a lot, and hope you enjoyed, and I hope to get this thing out for testing in the next couple of weeks. Talk to you next time.